it's mid-April. Julie here from Sister Mediums, and I thank you for tuning into my mid-month oracle card reading. There's a lot happening in the world and a lot to talk about. So what I did this month was I focused on not just what we need globally as a whole, but what we need to focus on internally within ourselves, within our families, within our tribe members. And I went ahead and asked for guidance from my ancestors, my spirit guides, of course, our angels, and our own loved ones on the other side. And I was drawn to use one set of cards. And when I went to go and meditate on that, I was quickly directed to a lot of my earthly cards. So I'm using a deck called Earth Magic. I've gone to my Light Seers deck, and I'm using my oracle cards that are part of my shaman's deck. And it's interesting what's been brought to you. So I'm going to get started right here. I drew a number of different cards for you today, and the first one that we're going to talk about is right here. It's called the Wheel, and this card is all about changes, and it's all about fate, and it's about going with the flow of things, and a reminder really that we really want to be present and a part of all of the experiences that we're having. And just like life has its circle and it goes around and around, you know, we always don't know what's coming. We need to be able to enjoy that circle and enjoy those experiences without pushing too far forward that we get lost in the natural flow of what's supposed to be happening. I understand that change happens rapidly, and sometimes we don't know how to cope and how to deal with it. But the message here is really that we are not in control. There are certain turning points in life that have to happen, and really this card is telling us to just set back and be open to the different opportunities. There are a number of different things happening here. Of course, you have all the different wheels that represent all the turning points and changes in life. But the big thing here is she's wearing a set of dice around her neck as a necklace. And the dice are just a reminder that, again, not everything is fair, not everything is even, and not everything is equal. Okay. It's the way she's standing. It's the light versus the dark. You've got the upper world, you've got the lower world, and that all signifies balance, and really just trying to stay centered and grounded, and bringing in more balance into your life, and accepting those calls of synchronicity, those calls of serendipity when they happen. And again, just enjoying that natural flow, understanding that the world is always and forever moving, spinning, and changing rapidly, and just close your eyes and embrace it as best that we can. Okay, so that's the first card that I have for you. The second card is one of my favorites in the deck. It's the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, this card is really about harvest. It's about gratitude. It's about reflection. The big message in this one is no matter what set us back in life, we need to have that desire and that drive to just keep on going, falling into our faith. When I look at the photograph here in the picture, you've got this tree and you've got these roots, and he doesn't look very happy. It seems to me that he's thinking, oh, this isn't growing fast enough. I don't have any fruit or abundance happening here. And, you know, we don't want to measure success based on what we're seeing right in front of us, because oftentimes we're missing what's happening underneath. So if you think about this earth here, the roots in this plant are growing, they're mulching, they're expanding into greatness. When we think about the frustration that we see on his face, it's really hard to get into that mentality of frustration over faith. And we want to change that and have faith over frustration. Big dreams, they don't happen in a day. And, you know, I've taken notice here that there happen to be 7 different circles underground. And I think of 7 days of creation. I think of the seed of life and the imagery that is associated with that symbol. But I also think of the 7 chakras. And if we start from the bottom and we move our way up, so we're looking at the root would have to do with grounding. Okay. The next one would be the sacral chakra, and that has to do with your identity. Then moving to the solar plexus, and that having to do with your inner warrior. From the solar plexus, we're moving to our heart, and that's all about compassion, and it's all about love. And then up to the throat, and that is your communication, and it's your truth, and it's getting your message out there. And then up to your third eye, which has to do with your vision and seeing things and envisioning what you want, and all of that in your final chakra, which is your crown, and that bringing in light and really seeing the fruition of all of this coming to light. So I don't want you to lose faith in the things that you've planted and the things that you're harvesting moving forward, even though we have all these setbacks right now, whether it be finances, whether it be health, whether it be the feeling and the anxiety that we're all feeling trapped right now and stuck at home. Just understand that things are growing and things are turning over where we can't see them. And there's something bigger and greater to what's happening globally right now, that we all just need to trust in the growing process and trust in what's happening and why it's happening. Okay, so another beautiful card. I love the imagery in here and what this card really stands for and what it represents. And don't give up. Okay, don't give up. Actually, one more thing with this card. Comes with a mantra. Okay, and I'm going to read this to you. As I give thanks for what I am about to harvest, I know that my life is headed in the right direction. And I want you to really focus on those words, because when we plant seeds, we need to water them, we need to nurture them, we need to allow them to grow in order for us to reap the benefits of the abundance that comes from them. Okay, so just focus on that, harvesting things, watering it, giving it life, and knowing that when you plant a seed, that seed will grow into what's meant for you. Maybe not at that time, but ultimately what's meant to be part of your path will be your path. Okay. Next card here. This is one of a favorite of mine, actually. Soul retrieval. And so many of us are feeling frustrations right now with not being able to do the things that we naturally do. Getting up and having that routine, whether it's going to work or whether it's being a caregiver. And, this card is really all about stepping back and going back to who you are internally. I want to bring you right back to reflection and rebirth. And I want you to think about being in the womb and how long it takes for something to be born, that time again to nurture something. Invest in who you are, invest in who as a person you need to be, but really get back to the things that bring you joy in life. I think about this cocoon and I think about that transformation and really that incubation period, and getting back to a point in life where you can just hone in on your own energy and allow the things that naturally you're feeling inside to come to life. Get back to your grassroots, your identity, and the things that you love to do. Sometimes I like to think about what has set us off the path. What set us off track from doing those things that we naturally love to do? Was it a person that came into your life that didn't agree with your lifestyle, or that you had certain hobbies and things that you loved to do that don't quite mesh with their life? And again, it's all about balance and about having a partner who understands what your calling is just as much as you understand what theirs is. So I really urge you, like this butterfly in this cocoon, to get back to the things that you love to do and the things that you're naturally drawn to. I always say the things we're naturally drawn to are the things we've done over and over and repeated in past lives. So getting back to that soul retrieval is your identity. It's your blueprint. It's your thumbprint. It's who you are. Okay. Don't lose sight of that. Next card here. This card it's a very simple card. I actually shuffled the deck and it fell out. I put it back in and I pulled it again. And so I believe that plainly put, this card has to do with interruption. It has to do with frustration. It's got to do with high level emotions, and really just understanding that we are not always in control. We can't always be in control. And when it comes to friendships, when it comes to relationships, sometimes we have to just spew it all out. We've got to let it out to be able to rid ourselves of the frustrations that we're feeling with each other, to bring ourselves back to that groundwork. When I think of lava coming out of a volcano and I think of ocean water around it, what happens is as that lava hardens, it rebuilds a surface. It's rebuilding more room and more foundation. And that leaves us with space to grow, again, to grow in our relationships. So if you're at a point where right now you're feeling very frustrated with either what's happening in the world or happening in your relationships, I've had multiple conversations with people who are at home with their partners. And for some of us, that's really difficult. If you're home with someone that you're not used to being home with all the time, you love that person, but you're used to your path, they're used to theirs and their routine, and you reconvene at the end of the night. And to be stuck in a home all day and all night with someone really does bring out a level of frustration. And I feel that this card is showing us that buildup, that it's about to bust, it's about to burst open. And naturally let it happen. Maybe be aware of how you're feeling and how there's heaviness being brought in the heart and up, and just allow it to come out and talk about it. It doesn't need to get to this point where it all explodes. It can have that balance if you give each other the time to just speak. Okay. This might also represent the boiling point that we're all feeling with our own frustrations. At first it was, oh, I get to have a couple of days off, a couple of weeks off is nice. And we're finding our way, trying to just deal with what's happening. And maybe this is the boiling point of, now I'm getting stressed out and now I'm feeling anxious and there's something inside of me that's ready to explode. So what can we do to take a step back from those feelings? I bring it back to earth grounding. Meditate, get outside, take a walk while you can. It's April and hopefully we'll start to see some flowers blooming. And again, that sign of rebirth and just bringing things right back from the ground up. And so there are a lot of little reminders in this card, but definitely check in with your feelings and, scale them out. How are you doing? And be honest about it. We're all going through something. So let's not hide in those shadows and let's not let it get to a point where, we're about to explode. Okay. Next card here, and again, this is a great one. It's the dance, and this dance here represents celebration, kicking back and enjoying music, getting back to community and gatherings, and that's what this card is all about. This is a card that's ancestral, so it's going back generations back, and it's just the simplicity of what a dance represents. It's the song of life. When I look at her, she's the fact that she's barefoot, it shows that she's grounded. And when we're grounded, we're much more centered in how we're feeling and we're focused on the simple joys of life without all of the headache, the stress, and the heaviness getting to us. And, one thing I can say about celebration is find little ways daily to celebrate what's happening. There's a reason why we've all been brought back to our families and are being forced to spend more and more time at home with them. And, I can say for myself only, one blessing that's come out of this, and I can relate it back to celebration, is as a family, we're very busy. It's work for my husband and I, it's karate for my kids, upon other things. And we don't always get the opportunity to sit at the dinner table together. One thing that we're doing is not only playing music daily and allowing ourselves to just be lighter and happier, but we're celebrating every night at the dinner table. We're gathering, and that doesn't always happen. So I look at that as a sign of, this was meant to happen. We're all meant to be brought back to the beginning, to the natural gathering of community and celebration, and really just, again, singing that song of life and not stressing too much, just enjoying the simple things. Okay, so I urge you, put on some music, dance, think about all of the things that make you happy. And, here's another example. My brother-in-law, he does these Zoom dance parties with the family. And at first we were like, what's he putting together? And I have to tell you, we get together with about 15 or 20 of us. Sometimes it's family, sometimes it's friends. And he DJs music for like a good 2 hours. So not only are we listening to the music, but we're all talking to each other. We're hanging out. And again, it's just bringing people together. It's adapting to the environment. So I urge you to get out there and adapt to the environment. Okay. There's that big saying about getting out and dancing in the rain. It's the same thing. You're not dancing in the rain because you want anything great or magical to happen from it. You're just enjoying the moment despite the rain. Yet I look at it like, if someone's out there dancing, whether it's sunny or not, think about that water as a cleanse. Get out there and just bring yourself back to the natural elements of life, okay, and enjoy the celebration of things. I want to end this with a prayer card, and this card talks about balance, okay? A favorable outcome. I know that again, we're all stressed out, we're all worrying about what's happening right now, and these are things again that are out of our control, okay? I'm looking at these scales of justice here, and again, that just represents the yin and yang of life, the natural ebb and flow, and the fact that there's always positive and negative to everything we do. But this card talks about a favorable outcome. The prayer that St. Michael leaves you with is, thank you for the beautiful outcome of this situation, which is perfect and fair for everyone involved. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping me trust and have faith. So again, just bring yourself back to your center. You have to believe that things are going to get better. That there's something bigger and greater than all of us that's working in the background for a bigger reason than what we can probably even comprehend right now. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. I will be back here in a month to do another card reading for you. And I urge you to stay indoors, stay safe, enjoy all of this beautiful time that you have with your friends and your family, and get back to who you really are. Okay, blessings on blessings. Take care, everyone.